According to the Wiki, the best money makers in free-to-play are at most a measly 444,000 per hour. Worse still, that to do the best methods requires 85 mining, 99 smithing, and are in high wilderness PK hotspots as well. Surely there has to be a better way. So I set out to find real money makers, because free-to-play needs love too. And you won't believe what I found. First thing I started to test was to see if there were any shops that sold items that I could buy much cheaper than the GE price. Of course, lots and lots of people try this, so there really aren't that many good ones. But I did find one, or should I say two, because there is a rune shop in both Port Sarim and one in Varrock, and they both make you a profit. When buying or selling items in a shop, you can set up rune lights so you can sell 5, 10 or 50 at a time using the menu entry swapper. Then the UI swap section, I've done a guide on this previously and I will link it in the description. Body runes can be purchased from these shops for just 3 GP each and will sell for 5 GP on the GE. And death runes can be bought for 180 GP and will sell for just over 200 GP each. And with the menu entry swapper setup, you can buy 50 runes every single click. And whilst the cost of the runes go up eventually, you can currently purchase 50 death runes when the stock is 250 and 750 body runes when the stock starts at 5,000, extremely quickly, making you thousands of GP. Then you can simply hop worlds and do exactly the same thing again. It is important to check the shop's stock, as when death runes are below 200 you start to make a loss, and when body runes are below 4,250 the same happens again. And I spent around 600,000 GP on runes, and in 10 minutes I made 80,000 GP. That makes this method 480,000 GP per hour, a great start, especially as there will always be buyers for runes, meaning that is a great method even if lots of people do it. But even though I had already beaten the Wiki, I was still hoping for a lot more than that. Whilst a lot of people realise you can buy from shops to sell it to the GE, not many people do it the other way around. But we create so many items, smithing and fletching, there is often too many of some items in the game, which makes the price in the GE far cheaper than the shop prices buy them for. These items end up about 500 GP cheaper on the GE than the price they alch for, since that becomes the only useful thing you can do with them, and since people alching want to make a profit after they buy the runes, there becomes this 500 GP difference. However, if you sell a plate body to a plate body shop, runes to a rune shop, or bows to an archery store, unlike general stores, they actually pay high alch value, so you get extra profit than those high alching items, since you don't have to buy the nature runes. So I tested out Brian's archery supplies in Rimington, and the shop buys bows for around 30% more than they are selling on the GE currently. So I bought 1,000 of each bow to see how much I would make selling 10 at a time in each world. The bows cost me 790,000 GP in total, and it took me just under 19 minutes to sell all of them, and I got 994,000 back. That works out at a very tidy 662,000 GP per hour. But now that I had found out a real way to make money in free-to-play, I was determined to find the best shops possible and see if I could get close to the money-making methods you can actually do in pay-to-play. Some good shops that had a good profit margin of between 500,000 and 1,000,000 GP per hour was the Scimitar shop in Al-Kharid, the Plate Leg and Plate Skirt shop also in Al-Kharid, the Helmet shop in the Barbarian Village, and Cassie's Shield shop in Falador. However, 3 shops absolutely smashed the amount you made in this method. And the first shop is Wayne's Chains in Falador. And the Mithril and Addy chain bodies sell for almost 500 GP more than the GE price, and as long as no one else is selling and the stocks are just a few each, you can sell 10 at a time, making you thousands of GP every single click. I spent exactly 2 million GP on 500 steel, mithril and addy chain bodies, and it took me just 9 minutes to sell 10 of each on every world, and I ended up making 261,000 GP in just that time. That works out at 1.74 million GP per hour in free to play. Crazy. That wasn't even the best one. The next shop I tested was the Mace shop, also in Falador, and the Adamant Mace was almost 600 GP cheaper in the GE than the price the shop buys it for. That wasn't only an increase in profit, but it meant I could actually sell 20 at a time and would still make a profit, making it also a quicker method. And I spent just 414,000 GP on 500 steel, mithril and addy maces. Because I was able to sell 20 per world, I sold them all in just 4 minutes and 21 seconds, ending up with 567,000 GP, making an incredible 153k in under 5 minutes, and making this method a staggering 2.18 million GP per hour, and it still didn't make the top spot. The next shop I went to is the Varric Sword shop. To think how many players teleport here, walk past this shop on a daily basis, but this shop holds the key to one of the greatest free-to-play money makers. And it is because this shop buys 18 different items, and all you have to do is pick the most profitable ones, buy them from the G for much cheaper than the shop buys them from you for, and sell a small amount per world as long as the stocks are low. I spent just under 1.3 million on a wide range of different items, working out how many of each I should sell on each world before the price the shop purchased them for dropped too low. I then spent almost 12 minutes selling a variety of different things in either 5s or 10s to the shop, and ended up with 1.77 million. That's a profit of 480,000 GP, making more money in 12 minutes than the alleged best free-to-play method out there, and without having to go into high wilderness to do it. This method will make you a whopping 2.5 million GP per hour, and that is a bond in around 2 hours time. However, as amazing as these methods are, there are a few small issues. Firstly, that if too many people do it, the price the shop pays drops, due to having more stock of that item. And hopefully there is enough shops that between the people that watch this, there is enough for everyone. However, there is one shop that completely and utterly fixes this issue, as well as the second issue, which is the buy limit on the G of 125 every 4 hours per weapon or armor item. But this shop comes with some risk, but also the most profit of all. There is a general store in the wilderness, but this is a very, very special shop. It buys every single item in the game for the high alchemy price, making it every store all in one. That means every item in the game that has a high alchemy price of higher than the GE price can be sold here for a profit. That means no matter how many people sell to it, there will always be enough items that you can always make a profit here. But of course, there is the obvious risk. When I tested the Nature Rune Telegraph spot in the wilderness, which is meant to be the third best free-to-play money maker at 305,000 GP per hour, I went there 3 times for a total of just 5 minutes and seen 4 PKers in that time. So I stayed at this shop for 15 minutes, plenty of time for PKers to hop through every free world, and I didn't see a single PKer. That means there are none currently checking here, but if people start selling here, they will eventually come. However, there is a very limited risk way of making a lot of money here, and that is using the site alchemate.com. The site was actually designed to tell people what items are high alch for a profit, but if you click on the price, it will sort items by their value. There are tons of items that cost just a few GP each that can be sold for over 100 GP, limiting your risk to a very, very small amount. To add to this, I've already created a PvP guide on how to survive the wilderness, which I will link below, and using RuneLight you can do things like instantly hot worlds by pressing just one key as soon as you see a PKer. This shop can make you far more than a Varrock sword shop, but there are so many items you can sell here, so many possibilities, that pricing it is almost impossible, and there is also the risk involved. I didn't think it was right to test this and put a price on it, because although this shop can make you absolute bank, you can also get PK'd and lose the items you have on you. Leagues 3 is out in January. I hope you all make enough for bonds and come and join me in one of the greatest game modes you can ever play in old school RuneScape.